the agenda that we have on day one. So we are thinking as a beginner. So a person who is not fully aware of Excel, how would he start his journey with Excel? And this is how the module has been created, and we will take it forward accordingly. So we will do the Excel introduction, then toolbars and ribbons, modify columns. So all these sort of things that we're going to cover today. And let's start. Why Excel? And Excel is an electronic spreadsheet program that is used for storing, organizing, and manipulating data. So you can have data from any source, different things going on around you every day. Every day you come, there's a pattern, there's something that you analyze. But if you keep writing it down on a notepad, like our ancestors used to do, they used to maintain a notepad, and then those things are translated into spreadsheets, and now we are analyzing data in spreadsheet. And Excel or Microsoft, they have designed this spreadsheet, and we're thankful to them that they have aligned millions of life and make it easier for them to work on. So as I told you, it's also something that is organized in workbooks which contain worksheets. We will do a practical example of each and everything, whatever we're discussing here on the slides. So you do not need to be, rely on this. We're going to take it to the practical example on the data sheets. But first, let's go with the slides first. If you see Excel, it would have a number of inbuilt features and tools, and at each and every day, different companies, they try to excel what it has been already been created. So if you were to compare the Excel, the very first starting, and now 2024 Excel, you would see there was a huge difference in that also. So we keep on adding functions, we keep on adding formulas, charts, data analysis, different mechanism. Each and every thing that you see in Excel, the past Excel and now the future Excel, you would see there's a lot of difference. And that's what we're going to study. And we're going to study the formatting of different spreadsheets. That would also allow you visually see it better. You can change the color, font size, and it can also help you design looking at the different charts. Because if you were to go to your senior leadership and if you want to, give them data, you would not give it in Excel. You would definitely, make it some visually, glued to our eyes. That is something that we used to see. That's a table sheet graph, because that is more readable data. But behind it, what you have to really churn it through, it has to be charts. So charts, shadowing, transparency, this is what it's all about. And mainly the Excel feature is like it's keep on, calculation programs for you, graphic tools, pivot tables, and macro programming language, Visual Basic for application. That is also we're going to cover later part of this Excel study. And, let's proceed further. So right now we are on the very first page of Excel. If you were to open Excel, this is how it's going to look like. This is an Excel worksheet, and this is inside of workbook. So if you see this, you would see that at the very top, if you were to see the cursor of my mouse here, the very top, you would see this different tabs. These are some tabs which are given like this and the save and the refresh. This is something that is normal inbuilt. But you can also add your different tab to the Access toolbar. So this is one great thing that they have added recently, like 2016 and after, they have started adding different things in Excel, and this is a part of it. And then you would have tabs. And you would have file, home, insert, page layout, formulas, data, these tabs. And these tabs contain ribbons. So if you were to see these tabs would contain ribbons. And these are the ribbons that I'm talking about. And the ribbon have different groups. Let me just take it to the Excel so that I can explain it better. So let me just quickly share the Excel sheet with you guys. Just bear with me a minute. So I'm going to share my screen, and from here we can just take it further. So this is what I'm talking about. This is something that you see a file. These are the auto buttons that you're saving Excel. These are the tabs, different tabs that I'm talking about: home, insert, page layout, formulas, data. These are all tabs. And these all tabs would contain ribbon. And this is the ribbon that I'm talking about. So there's a group in this ribbon, and this group is font group. If you see it further, you would see you can align, font, you can change the font size, and you can align it according to your will. And you can put in border or something like that. And then you have alignment group. And similarly, you would see different groups here. And as we proceed, we'll follow all these. And now, at the bottom, you would see these are the sheets. So the one that I have in front of you, this is a workbook. And in this workbook, we have different sheets. And in these sheets, we have data. So as I've written, welcome everyone to today's session. You can see this is set. This is where data is stored in Excel. So if you were to put in a data, this is where it should be. And if you see the intersection, like this and this, so if I point my cursor here on this cell, you would see the address of this cell in this box. You see, it denotes that my cursor, or I am right now in the cell A2. If I just click somewhere here, I am in J7. So you don't have to see that, okay, I am in column J and the row number is 7, and then how you get to know that you are in J7. No, you can simply see this and you will get to know where are you wondering about. So this is how it's going to help you. And if I will write here something, let's say 1, 2, 3, I've written, so it will come here also. So this is a function tool where it will come, and here you would see formulas also. If you were to write a formula, and in Excel, what they have done is everything they would start with equals to. And after that, you put in functions, you put in formulas, everything. Then it will be aligned accordingly. So as of now, I'm just putting the function sum, and you would see it's coming already there. And Excel, it keeps your life very simple. So if you were to sum something, let's say that's something that you don't do it very often in a day, or you're not a very good mathematician, and something comes to your mind, okay, you don't know the tables now because we have way past school now. And if you were to, ask yourself 19 divide 19 plus, okay, I would say if you were to do the tables, that would be product. So similarly, if you would go like this, you could do different things with Excel, and it would help you. So if you were to do a table, and if you do not have a calculator handy, you can quickly use Excel and you can carry on with it. And the thing is, like, if this is generally that we are dealing with this right now is this is basic course, basic understanding that we are dealing with, and we're just telling people that starting with a single block, and this is a cell. As a human being, we are like developed like from cells. So now we're starting with a cell. So if you were to put in a data in Excel, you would start with cell, and that cell would have fallen in a column or in a row. So if you were to see, if I intersect this, this is column, column A, column B, column C, and these are the rows, row 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I were to select data, if I select data like this becomes my range. So here, if you see, this becomes my range. I have selected my range from, let's do from here. I've selected my range from, if you see in this address bar that I was talking about, you would see 5R to 3C. That's my range that I've selected the data from. So this is how the Excel, they have drilled it down. So let's go back to the slide where we were discussing. So we discussed these tabs, we discussed these ribbons, the formula bar, the name box, and basically the spreadsheet. And down at the bottom, you would see status bar. Status bar, what it generally does is, status bar tells you what's going on with your Excel. It generally tells you that if it's performing in Excel, if it's calculating, it will tell you this is what it's doing. Sometimes you see if you put it around a very big, calculation, it goes to freeze or loop. But here you will get to know that what it's doing. So this is how it is, the status bar. Moving forward, we have already discussed cell. If I can read it once again, it's outlined in a green, here in the box that we discussed in Excel, that it's an individual block within a table in which you can enter values, and numbers. And the rows and the columns we did discuss. If you see it horizontally, it's column. If you see it vertically, one above another stacked, it's a row. And basically, if you were to work on Excel, you would see this every day, every night, that you would be working on the rows and the columns. And this is the building blocks of Excel. And you can always edit it. You can click any cell, and if you click on any cell, the cell will get active, and you can put in the data, as we did in this textbook, this minutes before. And the data can be anything, like you can put in a text, you can put in a number, you can put in dates, and you can edit also. You can do the editing directly into the cell or into the formula bar. So here also you would see it's more description how the row is. You can highlight, and you can actually, this is quite something that a lot of people would be doing it, because if you were to work on Excel, you should notice that the row that we are talking about, if you were to change the height or any alignment of it, you can do it. Normally, if you open it, it comes around with 14.5, the height that right now I'm using. So if I change it to 15.5, you would see this will get enlarged. So it depends how you're going to work and how you're going to present your data to the end user so that you can see it differently. And once again, we're moving back to the PowerPoint presentation, and we discussed this row and the cells, and the way that we can insert different things. We can format cells also, as we did discuss that if I were to format. So let's take an example of this. Here we are talking about the top grossing movies of all time, and this is Hollywood, not Bollywood. And if you see, they're just given the worldwide gross numbers, the domestic numbers, and the year in which the movie was released. So here you can see that it's gives you a number, but you don't know this number is in dollar, or this number is in any different currency. So what you can do is you can change, and the way that you can change is the way that we can edit Excel. Now here, just right click, and you can just click on Format Cells, and just go here. You can see currency there, and here the symbol dollar. Right now we're just going to change to dollar, where we have a number of currency symbols that you can change, and you just select dollar. You say OK, and you would see all the figures that are coming in dollars. So this is a one very basic example that I've given you, the way that you can play around with the cells and the way that you can play around with the format also. Here you can see the the decimal is in two places, and if you were to change it, you can also do it. You can just go to this decimal place, and you can increase it or you can decrease it. So let's say that we just change to 1. So here example, it's showing that we can show it like this. And if the end user is asking me data at 4 decimal that I would require, so you can change it to 3 to 4, whatever data that the end user is requesting for, you can change it accordingly. So once again, we're moving back to the slide. And similarly, as I told you about the rows, this is the column. This is how the column works, and you can change the column also the similar way that we change the rows. And also here you would see the same examples, the same fields, format cells, column width. And column width is something that you can change it different by doing different things also. Like this is the column width that if you were to see the column width here, it's saying 8.09. But in real life, you would not go each and every time and do with the width or the row width like this. What you're going to do is you're going to just double click on this column, and it will take care of it. Similarly, if the data is like too much, we have data in all these columns. So one by one, you will not go and do this, do this. So there's always shortcuts in Excel. And as we move along, we'll discuss that also. So let's suppose that we just copy this, and we're going to put it in a different sheet. Let's suppose we're going to put it this here. So here you would see it's not giving you the correct visual figure, and the reason, because the column width is not defined here, because it's not picking the format from the previous sheet to this sheet. So what we're going to do is we're going to fix it. And how we're going to fix it? Either you can just click one by one here and do it, or there's a very sleepy way of doing it, like click here and then go to the column width, and from here on you can increase the column width. Normally, if you keep working on Excel, you will get to know the different things that you can do. So quickly you can just completely highlight the sheet, Control A, and click on any column here, and it will give you the full prescription and how the visually you can see the things here. But this sometimes is not advisable, because if you have a large number of data, and if you do this, then you end up doing Control Z, because in those cases you would find that if the column size is big, then you have to manually to go into that column, or that uh, particular to that column, and decrease the column size. So this is not advisable in all the cases, but this is something that people generally tend to do it, and this is one of the basic things that we are just going through. And let's move along with the sheet. And here we're going to discuss the modification of column, rows, and cells. One a bit we discussed, but how we're going to do it, this is something that I have to read along. I've shown the practical example, but you can always use the arrow keys on your keyboard to move along with one cell to another. This is a very basic thing for you to do in Excel, and you can do hold, shift, and press different keys to move horizontally to different left and right. This is something that we can see, because in a lot of examples, what people do is, if I were to see this employee data, and if I have to go to the row like 30th or 40th, normally people, or to the end of this, would say the data, people usually go like this, and they go to this 41th. If they were to visit this 41th, cell, they will generally do the up or the down arrows, and generally go by this. But if you were to be fast in Excel, you got to be familiar with the shortcuts. And normally, if you were to go to this cell quickly, you can just follow a shortcut that would be like a Control Shift and then down arrow. So it would quickly take you to this complete data. And if you were to highlight the complete data, then you can just do Control Shift and the arrow key towards the right, and it will highlight this data. So this is something that would come along. The time it will take, not much of time, I would say, but if you just keep working on Excel data for like a week or so, you would be surprised to see that the things that you were doing a week earlier, because you were not aware of different shortcuts. And by the way, there are like 270 to 280 shortcuts in Excel, and we cannot memorize it. But if you're handling data, then you can always keep this thing back of your mind, and you can have different things. Like when I started, I usually go with my mouse, and I usually used to highlight things like this with my mouse, like everything that I used to do. But now I've been working Excel for quite some time now, so I just quickly move around things differently now, and I use different shortcuts, which we will discuss later. And different shortcuts. I'm going to give you one cheat sheet also, the different shortcuts that you can see, and if they are good to be used in your day-to-day Excel usage, you can use them also. So moving back to where we were in the presentation. So similarly, we can move the shift keys downwards vertically and horizontally to align with the data, and moving between the cells. And we can select multiple cells. As I told you that you can select a cell, and you can select a range by your cursor. You can move different things. Within the sheet, you can play around, and this is how you just hold down the shift key, and you can place your cell, the cursor, and these arrow keys, and you can move around. You can drag your cursor and you can select a range of the data. Similarly, selecting rows and columns, either Excel, it gives you an opportunity to just go quickly and highlight a cell or a column or a row or entire sheet, just to Control A. Or there's one more way of doing it, if I just quickly go to click back here. If you just click here, in this triangle that you can see here, you can highlight the complete sheet. So this is one of the shortcuts that you can use as the data is big. Then you can highlight from here, and you can do different tasks accordingly. So this is what the slide is talking about. And this is the way that you can select the entire column or entire sheet or entire row. This way you can do an entire row. This way you can do an entire column. and this way you can do an hash. And if you were to find out where you are, you can just click on any cell and you can get to know the address of that cell. This is something basic. Now moving along, as I told you that modifying our column rows and cells, as we did modify and put in some data, and we changed the currency of it. This is the way that we can do it, as it is to that will just quickly once again do it for you. And let's just make it more interesting for you. Let's do something. Let's say, okay, I'm just going to show you something that I was talking about, the quick things that you can do within Excel. And this is, let's just say that I were to take this employee name, John. John Smith is the full name. And if I were to extract the first name, so I just say the first name of this column, I would just say John. And here, I would not, take each and every column and the cells from the column B and do it. There are different ways of doing it, but if the data is constant and this is what it is, it's not changing, and you want to do it quickly, then there are different ways of doing it. And one way that I like very much that is the quick fill that you can do. And that's with the quick fill, what you can do is quickly go to the data here and in the data tab and in these ribbons here in the data tools, what you can do, this is the quick fill. Shortcut to this is Control E, but normally what it does, as we are moving into this AI world, this is quite AI feature that they have put in Excel. So what it does is that it quickly flash fill all the things that you wanted to do without taking much time and effort. So what I have to do is I just put it first name here, John. I go to the second cell, G3, and I just go to this data tab here. And in these ribbons, I just go and just click on this flash fill button and see the magic. I didn't have to go to the cell and see Jane, Michael, and Emily, David, Lisa. This is something quickly you can do it and you can show it to your boss. Okay, this is done. If he were to ask you different things like, okay, I want to do the initial. You just give me the first name, give me the initial also. So I would just say the initial of this person. I'm very bad with spellings, initials. So that's just the initials. And then I would say John Smith. And if I were to use the initial, I would say S. So similarly, I will just take this initial and I just do an S here. It's not doing it. Let's do it again. The initial is the John Smith. And let's suppose that I will just take this initial Smith. And if I were to flash fill it, it will. Oh, I've changed the data, that's right.
I think you should try making N.
Yeah. This is how it is. So it's not taking it. Any one of you, anyone, if you can answer this, why it's not taking my initial?
Actually, at least we need to select at least two columns, I believe.
So your answer is that I've selected two columns here.
Sorry, two rows, at least two rows. Like S and in the below in the S, D, and when we do the same, then we will take the sheet will take the fold.
Okay, so you're saying that if I do D here and J here, then it will flash fill it.
Yeah.
That's the right answer. That's the right answer. Normally, if you were to do this in the flash fill and the data is constant, you can do it with any initial. Like the way that I did it in the first initial, if I were to do it in the last initial of this name, and the last initial is, I would say H. So let's say the last initial that we are to it. And here I would say the last initial is H. So I'm telling Excel that this is my mind says, and I were to take the last initial of the full name. Now Excel is very smart. So Excel is going to take example of how exactly I'm going to take the initials, first or the last, or the name itself, for example. And it always look for a pattern. Like here, we put it as, it did not follow a pattern. But the moment we put in D, J, and B, it started following the pattern. Here also, if I just say H, and if I put in E, that is the last initial, and if I put in N, that is the last initial of this, and if I go in the flash fillet, it will take the last initials of these gentlemen. So this is a way Excel is very smart, and day by day progress that Microsoft or the Sheets are making. They are putting different AIs and the different functions, which gives you a privilege to do your task more quickly. And this is a very basic example that we are working on right now. Similarly, if I were to change the dates and the salaries and the designations also, it will do it. But keep in mind, if your data is constant, then only it will work out. If I change the data, if I put something and insert, and if I change the data here, then this pattern might break. It might not work. But usually, if you do things which would require you to give you your work in a rather pace, and you have to submit something that is constant data every day, because in Excel, if you're working, you would hardly work on 10 or 1,000 different reports. You just work on 5 to 10 to 20 reports, and the reports would be similar. Not the data would not change every now and then. I mean, the headers are similar. Data might change, but the headers, most of the time, it remains same, because this is how we're gonna take the pattern out from a data. So if the headers are same, though the data is changing, similarly, you can try different things. Like this is a very basic example that I've given you, the flashbacks. Similarly, you would see more example while we move along with this journey, and you will see different things that you can do with Excel. So this is something that we have played around, selecting multiple rows and columns. This is a basic thing that we have just copied and pasted, and it worked out for us. And this is already we discussed that how we can enlarge our cell address. So if you were to see with enlargement, there are two things that you can do. If you were, let's suppose that if you are here, and if I just change the width of my cell like this, and this is not readable, uh, either you can do is this and enlarge it, or you can just say, okay, I don't want to enlarge it, but this is what it is. I have to play around. So then there's a way that you can just go to the home tab and wrap the text. And if I wrap the text here, you would see it does play around with the rows, which many people would not like, because the columns, they have somehow managed to put across what it meant to be, but the rows, if you see, they are not in the regular size. This happens, you would see when you import data, and then if someone gives you a data in a CSV format, and if you are importing data from different channels, you would see the data say why. You would see cells are different, the widths are different, and the columns you can not able to make out that how you should correct this data. In those times, what you can do is you can just quickly highlight the complete sheet, and you can click on this magic mark in the wrap text. What it generally does is it will wrap everything around and try to give you a data which you can work upon, and which you can see, which looks visually good while working on. So if I just click here, you can see it wrapped the text once again back to normal, but it has not changed. So what I will do, I will quickly enlarge any column here, and it will bring the visually impaired data in front of me, so that I can make a calculated decision, making seeing the data and accordingly working on it. Now here I can see different ways you can do it. You can wrap text, or if you were to see this is an employee data, and if you were to send to your boss, then you can just merge all these columns from here to here. This is the way that you can merge across. You can merge cells, you can unmerge them, you can merge and center, and you can put it here that this is employee data. So your boss or whoever the end user is, they will get this is employee data, and you just play around with the different colors, what type of colors you wanted to put it around, and it will help you to change the text also, and to change the background also. So whoever the end user is, if they are looking into this data, visually it would look more good if you play around with this. And if you just don't do it, and just plain data that if you send, if let's suppose that if I'm sending this plain data, it doesn't make sense. you're sending it to boss and the dates are gone, you know, everything is gone, the data is not format. If this data, if you send across to an end user, they would not be able to make out that what this data all about. Though you can see this is an employee and this is talking about the annual salary and all that stuff. This is meant to be an employee data, but the dates are haywire. So here you have to fix the dates also. There are different things that you can do within Excel, and the columns that we are studying right now. Here, the dates, short dates, you can put in the long dates that you can put in different things, or you can just quickly right click on this one as I told you earlier, and just click on format cells. And from here, you can just select a date, what type of date you're gonna put in, and just select a normal this one, a sample one, and it will change my dates. And if you want to put in a year, also you can put in a year. So similarly, what it does is whatever you put it across to the Excel table, and if you know how to play around with the stuff, you can bring out something extraordinary from it. And this is just a building block for your career also. The more you work on it, the more you get familiar with different aspects of Excel. The more you get familiar with different styles, and you get more used to with it, and then you would be moving along to different fields in your life, because everywhere you go, you have to follow data. Either if you're just calculating your own expenses, and you're putting it, these days we have mobile apps that where you can put in, but somehow if you were to do it in Excel, and if you know Excel, this is a very basic thing that you had every computer on, and you can just play around with it, and you can track it, your expense, company's expense, business expense, anything, you name it, you have it on Excel. And with Excel, when I say Excel, it also a building block, because in this journey of IRAP, we're gonna start. A lot of people might have questioned that we are gonna start at very basic Excel here, but this is what it is. Like we're gonna start from very basic to intermediate to advanced, and similarly, this will help you when we will move to the next journey of Power BI, from where we would be doing different things, and then nobody would tell you how to play around with Excel, because we will be doing most things in BI or SQL. So things that we're learning here will help you moving forward this journey in the next 1 or 2 months, because there are many things that we're going to do in this journey, and this is just a building block that we are starting on. So once again, moving back to this slide of ours, we discussed this, how you can play around the width, and how you can adjust the column width, how you can lock cells, or the sheets. This is something that I've not discussed on the sheet, but we will move it to the next learning of arts in the more deep and detailed version. This is once again we discussed that how we can play around with the uh, the structure of a cell. You can change the width, you can change the row height, and you can select a range, deselect a range. Editing you can done directly in a cell or in a formula bar. You can put the data that can be in the text, number, and then we'll move across to the row height. This is something we did discuss. And one thing that they have given here is like the shortcut for row height. Which very often shortcut key that you should be aware of. And if you talk about shortcut keys, the usage, we did discuss one, Control E, that we did with Flash fills. This is a shortcut cheat sheet that I'm gonna pass along to you guys at the end of this session, and you can play around with uh, you know the structure of a cell. You can change the width, you can change the row height, and you can select a range, deselect a range. Editing you can done directly in a cell or in a formula bar. You can put the data that can be in the text, number, and then we'll move across to the row height. This is something we did discuss. And one thing that they have given here is like the shortcut key that you can use for row height. Usually you don't do it very often with the data, but with the beginning, this is some sort of uh, shortcut key that you should be aware of. And if you talk about the shortcut keys, the usage, we did discuss one, Control E, that we did with Flash fills. This is a shortcut cheat sheet that I'm gonna pass along to you guys at the end of this session, and we'll have it handy. This will help you. And if you want to see, they have created 270 keyboard and a mouse shortcuts in Excel. Why they have created so many shortcuts in Excel? Because you never know what shortcut would help you when. And the more you work on Excel, the more you are used to with the shortcuts, because you would not be using a person who been working on Excel throughout like 1 or 2 years or 3 years down the line. They would stop using mouse, and they would start using their keyboard that often, because they know the shortcuts. Every day, then when you work around data, you would get to know different shortcuts, and then you start using it, and then that would give you the confidence also. The way you move around in your Excel sheet, uh, the way you move around in an Excel sheet, it gives you confidence to select your data, and you know quickly you can just go anywhere. So within seconds, or I would say different things that a normal guy who's a new one, like the beginner guy, and the person who been using it for like 1 year, 2 year down the line, they would do things which with the person, a normal guy, will just take like 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. But he will always go ahead and keep on learning and get to this stage. But this is something that I'm telling you, that with experience and with time, you will learn these shortcuts. And if sometimes if you ask me how I reached in this pivot table, I would not remember the shortcut. But back of my mind, I have this thing, you know, that quickly how you can move around. This is something that my fingers and my mind would collaborate and quickly type in. But if you were to ask me that I would slowly go and do it, then I would do it like this. I just say this, and then I would do this, and then I would see, okay, pivot table, and I would just go to V. So what it does is, when we talk about shortcuts, it gives you an address where to you should go, and you go to your keypad, keyboard on your computer or in a laptop, and if you click on that, it will take you to that address. So here also, if I just quickly select this whole range of data, what I'm gonna do is quickly I'm gonna do Control Shift down arrow and right arrow. It selected the complete sheet, the data sheet. In fact, I would say the range. Then I click on the Alt key. What it does is it highlights the tabs of my Excel, and it gives me different address, and whatever address I choose, I will go there. If I would not go to this pivot, I would just say I wanted to go to, I would say, data. I would just say A. So it takes me to A. And then it asks me what in A you gonna do. I would say in A, what should I do? I would be sorting it. So I would just click on T. So what it does, it will give you this sorting in analysis. From here, you can sort. That if you were to sort only the assistant operations of manager in this data, you can sort it. Now here internally there's only one, but in normal circumstances you would have many. And if you were to sort with different things here, it would align you. If you were to see how many IT managers we have in this data, we don't have many, but still it gives you that. So this is give something that takes you different address, when you highlight this Alt key, it also gives you a shortcut, which something that you may not be familiar of, but the moment you start working on your data, you will get to know, and you would start working on these shortcuts. And let's suppose that if I were to go to any different tab here, as per my work, I will be able to do it. And as we move along to shortcut keys and usage, let's move along ribbon usage. We have done um, the way that you can activate the ribbon is the Alt key, and you could see if you on a data, if you selected the data, if you press this Alt key, it will take you to this tabs, and under tabs you would have this ribbon, and you could see and under what address you can see and what you can do as per your will. So let's go with the ribbon keyboard shortcuts. We did discuss one here, and here also we have base special. This is one of the very basic thing that you're gonna do when you're working on Excel. So here, if you see uh, Control Alt B, what it does is it gives you this paste special window where you can just follow different paste special criteria as per your data requirement. So quickly, let's go to this project management and let's highlight this first. I would say 2 or 3 columns here, and this only this data. What I'm doing is I'm just doing Control C, and this Control AV button, what it will do, let me just show you. You just do Control C, and in any blank, if you just do Control Alt V, it's gonna give you the same paste special window that you can play around. Here you can just, if I were to compare or copy the formulas, you can put in these formulas or just the value, it will just do the values. Similarly, the formats, comments, and this is they have driven from 2010 or 2012 Excel, but nowadays you would have a more advanced version of it, and that is like uh, if you were to copy this data and if you were to paste it, then there are different shortcuts, and one of the shortcuts that I like it is this one that gives you this. So this is a new way, though it was there in earlier also, but they have refined it so that it can give you preview. And here, if I just say value, you see the preview says that your data would be like this. If I just say format, values and number, it will give you data like this. And if I just were to copy the formatting and the source, it will be giving me data like this. So the different ways you can play around with it, and it gives you this combination of like the format. Here I don't have to change the date format. The last time we did change the date format, we just copied and pasted. But here the format are also copied, and it will take care of it. So shortcut keys, there are many shortcut keys that you can work around, and the way that you can put the data in horizontally, vertically, that's something that you can use transpose, and it will reorient the content of your puppet cell, and the data is in rows pasted into columns and vice versa. So this is something that you can play around. And the quick analysis that we have done today is like we already discussed this. We did do a flash fill once, and it did work out. And we did ask one question also, and one fine gentleman answered it perfectly fine. And he predicted that the patterns were the main reason why we were not able to copy the flash fills. And the last, the saving and opening of a workbook. This is pretty simple. Uh, if you just completed the file work, you just go here. It gives you different ways that you can save. You can save as a copy, or you can just save directly. So here I just say if I were to save it, it gives me different ways. Like here, I can save it in cloud. I can save it in my personal computer and browse it, and it the Excel format, the extension. The extension is quite useful, and normally these days we are using XLSX extension that stands for Excel Open XML Spreadsheet. And in earlier days, we were using XLS. That is something that we were using with earlier versions of Excel. And with that, as we move along, we would also discuss the XLSM and XLSP. That is something the micro enabled, and we have a very fine gentleman who's going to take you to the those classes also later on in our journey. And managing worksheets, it's pretty simple. Like you can just jump over time, but it's just gonna take just 1 minute of yours. Here also, we just click on any worksheet, and we can just change the color of this tab. Also, we can rename it, and anything that we can do, can do these worksheets that you can see here. This is all. Day one. I hope, though we did cover only the basic things today, but this is something